We know that the baby boomer generation has driven demand in active adult communities for decades, but the market is shifting. And if you're thinking of buying into a 55 plus community right now, this is a conversation that you don't want to miss. So with a solid former career as an occupational therapist in rehabilitation, I've got a unique level of insight in some of the issues that we'll talk about today. Hi, I'm Margaret Jackson, Senior Housing Guide and Tampa Bay Realtor. So in Tampa Bay, the inventory of unsold 55 plus homes jumped over 60% in the last year. By the end of 2024, the market tipped into a buyer's market with about a 5-month supply of homes on hand. And at the same time, price growth in that segment has flattened, with median sales prices rising just about 1% year over year. So while that might sound like a healthy market, it also means that we've likely hit a pricing plateau, which actually wouldn't be a surprise. For those who have been around for a while, you know that prices in 55 plus communities were traditionally about 50 to 60% of that of the very same home that was built not in a 55 plus community. And we might be starting to see an economic shift back in that direction. So let's say you're in your late 50s or early 60s and you're thinking about moving into a 55 plus community right now. It's not uncommon for people to be looking at homes priced 500,000, 600,000, 800,000, or even more. They're becoming common figures for new builds, especially in these more upscale resort style 55 plus communities that are being built in this market. But there are some risks that you need to factor in. If you buy at peak pricing during a softening market and you then plan to sell in 10 to 15 years, which is about the time you might start to need more assisted care, you could be selling into a market that's flooded with inventory from older boomers aging out of the communities. In addition, a lot of the developers, they already know that these communities might need to pivot and repurpose as that baby boom generation diminishes. When we've got more supply and fewer buyers, that puts downward pressure on pricing. Now, your future sale price might not grow and could decline depending on how that demand shifts. You know, as Generation X and younger buyers replace the boomer market, one of the things that we already know, and we would see this as therapists all the time, is that it's typical for younger buyers, especially if they've grown up in an area, be a little averse to moving to the very same community that their parents, or actually in some cases their grandparents, either lived in or still live in. So economically speaking, we also know that there are specific sizes and floor plans in every 55 plus community that buyers are attracted to. They're typically the best selling floor plans. And no, they're not usually the large floor plans, and that's for several reasons. So tread carefully when you're choosing if you're tempted by the bigger floor plans. We already know that the oldest boomers are hitting that 80-year-old range between about 2026 and 2035. And that's right when most people transition into some further assisted care. So that can mean a surge of resale inventory hitting the market at the exact moment that you could be looking to sell. One of the things we also know is that Florida is considered one of the worst states to be retiring in and to be moving into assisted care in or looking for care in the later years. So this doesn't mean that you shouldn't buy, but it might mean that you buy with a little bit more wisdom. Focus on properties or locations that will hold their value over time. Think about this as the communities need to pivot in the future because there won't be enough 55 plus aged people to buy into them. So look for communities that have got flexibility in what's built around them so that you're positioned for a greater variety of long-term demand. Also work with an agent who understands both the real estate market and that senior living transition cycle. And no matter where you are in Florida, I can connect you with somebody that's well versed in that cycle. If you're considering a high-end purchase in a 55 plus community, Make sure your financial and personal goals align with realistic resale expectations. If you already have health issues, bear that in mind, that the cycle that you're staying there for could be shortened. If you don't have long-term care insurance and you're going to be dependent on selling this property for at least what you bought it for, what you'll do if that doesn't transpire as well. So it's not just about lifestyle today. Whenever you buy into a 55 plus community, consider your exit plan tomorrow. I'm Margaret Jackson, and I help Tampa Bay clients make smart, future-ready decisions about their next chapter. If you want a custom market analysis or just want to talk strategy for yourself, reach out anytime. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.